cool. So finally, thank you for.
No problems.
I just want to know. I think the question a lot of people are asking: has RJ retired from music or not?
Okay, well, look, just to be clear, I never said I was retiring from music. What I did say is I was retiring as an artist. That's very hard to do, having said that.
Yeah.
Because I'm constantly creating something. And sometimes I don't feel like someone else can do it as well as I can. It's not an arrogance thing, I just think it's a case of knowing my abilities or limitations as an artist. When I did say that, it was a very emotional decision, there's no doubt about that. But it had a lot to do with the fact that the music industry was, you sometimes feel like it's forcing you to go somewhere. So I mean, when I recorded that song Change the World, I wasn't doing it because, well, I didn't know it would get as big as it got then. But, so accidentally in a way, people started calling me a house singer. And then I kind of went against my natural sort of decision making and went, I'm going to take advantage of this whole house thing. But house music is not what I've ever wanted to do. And I think people kind of probably fed off that. But I was making a mistake because I was saying to people, yes, I am a house singer, as opposed to I'm an artist who will do whatever the hell he wants, will create whatever he wants, whether that be folk music, Spanish, I don't know, heavy metal. Not that I'm ever going to do Spanish heavy metal, but you know, just be an artist and be able to create whatever art I create at the time. And so making that statement of I'm retiring or whatever the case was actually more of a statement of I'm stopping house music to be the kind of artist I want to be. And it's, I mean, look, no one knows what was going on behind the scenes, but essentially, when I said that, you know, I still got phone calls from clubs, and I was making good money. You know, I still got phone calls from producers saying, "Can you sing on this song?" And it was a case of, "No, I won't, because it's house music." You know, club owners were calling me and saying, "We want you to come sing," or you know, "We want you to perform here." And I'd be like, "Okay, can I perform with my band?" "No, well, it's a club. You can't perform with your band." So, well, then I'm not doing it. And I turned down tons of gigs, you know, and in a way, I felt like I needed to sacrifice whatever money I was going to find me again, and the artist that I want to be.
Can you talk about sort of what that is? You know?
Well, you know, it's starting to come to fruition now. So this year, I just finished doing the musical director job on Clash of the Choirs. That's something I want to do because it's not being the guy in the front. You know, I mean, even as an artist, that happened by accident. You know, I was teaching somebody who just happened to hear me sing, who suddenly said, "No, you have to sign to a record," you know, and then next thing I know, I'm an artist. You know? So I've always wanted to be something like a musical director, a music producer. I produced Kelly Kamala's album end of last year. I just produced the new.
She's doing incredibly.
She's doing well, yeah. And just finished producing the new theme music for SABC2, the You Belong theme. Going to be the musical director on Idols. All of these things basically give me the opportunity to then create whatever music I want without having to worry of, is it going to make money? Because I think that's always what every artist is thinking. What's like the hottest sound at the moment? Oh, I better do that. So house music's big, so I must do house music.
Yeah.
But I don't have to say that anymore. Now I can say, okay, now I'm going to do a, I don't know, flamenco jazz album. Because I feel like it. Without having to say like, oh no, I need to sell 100,000 albums. Or it has to be on every radio station in the country. In other words, I can be whatever I want to be as an artist without necessarily having to worry if it's getting nominated for the songs or if it's playing on 5FM, if it's at the most commercial trendy thing on planet Earth. I can just create my art whilst doing the other work that I do, producing albums for people like Kelly Kamala or whoever, making jingles for SABC2 and being the musical director of Idols.
How many instruments can you play?
Well, look, I'm a pianist probably first. Let's say in order. Vocalist first, pianist second, guitarist third. But I mean, you know, beyond that, I mean, I'm not I'm not like this multi-instrumentalist genius who can play a million instruments. What But I mean, I was a big Prince fan. I was a huge Prince fan. He plays a million instruments.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do that. I'm not as talented as that. But what I realized is I have a strong musical imagination. You can play a million instruments and have no musical imagination.
Okay.
Which actually means that all you can do is play music for somebody else who does have the musical imagination. And when you've got a musical imagination, the next step from there is being able to take what you're hearing in your head, which is very much what like a Michael Jackson used to do. He wasn't a multi-instrumentalist either, but he had a great imagination for music. And it's being able to impart what you're hearing in your head to everybody else out there. And so for me, I found it was key to learn how to score and arrange music, for whatever instrument. And so long as I understood the instrument, I could basically show someone what to do, what I was hearing in my head, whether that be violin, cello, bassoon, a horn section, a percussionist. It's understanding the language. And if you can then write music for those instruments, it's in a way even better than sometimes playing, because you can never learn every single instrument I'm playing with. But I know that I can write an orchestral arrangement because I understand the instrument's range, the sound of the instrument, the way you're supposed to tell people to play that instrument, which is what's helped me over the years.
Awesome. Yeah. You spoke about the success of Change the World, and I mean how that was so unprecedented. It's interesting. It's still it's still continuing to become successful even now, because the remix has been nominated for a Sama. What are your thoughts? Do you like the remix? Do you appreciate it?
I appreciate it.
What are your thoughts on remixes?
I have no problems with remixes. I remix my stuff, I suppose, myself, because I never perform any song I ever do the same as it was ever recorded. So I like remixes. I mean, look, I sometimes do feel like, there are a lot of other songs you could use, okay? But, look, I think as Benji Moody alluded to yesterday, a good song's a good song. So, obviously, if it's getting remixed and still getting appreciated, I'm not complaining. I mean, at the end of the day, it's publishing for me. So, if that song's still going out there, still being played on radio, I'm not complaining because it's ka-ching, ka-ching. I just need to make sure that Chris Sen, for example, who remixed Change the World Now, that I go and sign the contracts, because at the moment I haven't. But he goes through the same company that I go through. Okay. So, it's because there's a lot of roaming remixes that guys do that aren't actually, the paperwork hasn't been done, and therefore actually who is being remixed stands not to make money out of that. I don't mind being remixed so long as I know, okay, is it playing all over the country? Oh, I better get my paperwork sorted out, because I know that maybe in a year's time or so, Samra is going to pay me lots of money.
Sure.
So I'll never complain about remix.
Okay, and so not the performing artist anymore. So what are you working on right now that we can, consume?
Well, obviously, check out Clash of the Choirs. I was a musical director, so my job in there is really to come up with the different themes. It's not a gospel competition, which makes it really interesting. I think soon there's a Motown theme coming up, which should be quite interesting. But there's lots of interesting styles that these guys have had to do. It's been fascinating, actually. And that's on Zanzi Magic Channel 161 every Sunday at 5:30. Doing really well. It's a great competition, and it just keeps getting better. So very exciting. Obviously, I had to train up the band for that. If you watch SABC2, you'll hear the new jingle every 5-10 minutes. That was me. Not that obviously it's me singing, but it's me. What else? I am busy with a few things, musically speaking, but it's not house music, So, but if you go onto if you check all my social media stuff, I do keep people updated about what I'm busy doing. Busy writing a book as well. Got some interesting stories about the music industry. And,
autobiography?
Whether or not I release it soon, I don't know. There's some horror stories about some ex-girlfriends. I'm not trying to expose them in any bad way, but such is life. But there's some interesting stories about the music industry. I pretty much worked with everybody in the South African music industry that has any relevance, you know, and it's a small world, so it's just quite fascinating to see how we're all connected, and you know, even someone like, you know, Jay Something, for example, you know, who I don't know, people may not realize, but Jay Something and I are actually quite connected. You know, so it's going to be an interesting book, and then yeah, probably coinciding with that book will be another album. Check out iTunes as well. There's some interesting stuff that you may have never heard of on iTunes. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Appreciate your time.
Any pleasure.